You didn't build the platform to connect people. That's what you tell Congress. That's what you tell the press. That's what you tell yourself when the numbers keep you up at night. 3 billion users. 3 billion people who open your app before they open their eyes in the morning. You built it because a girl at a party looked through you like you were furniture, and you wanted to make sure nobody would ever look through you again. You are 11 years old the first time you understand that the world is a system, and most people don't know the rules. You're in a cafeteria. It's loud. Groups form at tables with the precision of a sorting algorithm. Athletes here, popular kids there, the in-between kids filling the margins. You sit alone, not because no one invited you, because someone did, and when you sat down, the table went quiet in a way that made clear the invitation was a dare. You go home and write code for 6 hours, not because you love it, because the screen doesn't go quiet when you sit down. Your father is a professor. Your mother is a psychiatrist. The house is full of books and empty of noise. Dinner conversations are structured like academic seminars. Your parents don't ask how you feel, they ask what you think. You learn early that thinking is valued and feeling is not. Your father says this over roasted chicken on a Tuesday. The world belongs to the people who build the frameworks, not the people who follow them. You're 12. You don't fully understand, but you file it. By 15, you've built applications that your school uses without knowing you made them. You don't tell anyone, not because you're humble, because you learned something important. The architect is more powerful when he's invisible. The best systems are the ones people use without realizing someone built them. You are invisible to the social hierarchy that runs the hallways. You're not bullied. That would require them to notice you. You are simply not there. A background process running on hardware nobody checks. You get into an elite university. You arrive with a laptop and the assumption that intelligence will be the currency that matters. It isn't. The currency is the same as it was in the cafeteria. Looks, confidence, the ability to walk into a room and make people turn. You have a 4.0 GPA in a dorm room that smells like energy drinks and the growing certainty that the social world operates on rules that were written to exclude people like you. The party is in October of your sophomore year, a final club event. You weren't invited. You showed up with a roommate who was. The house is old money and new speakers. People hold drinks like accessories. A girl in a green dress is standing by the fireplace. She's laughing at something someone said. You've seen her in your economics lecture. She sits 3 rows ahead and to the left. You know this because you've counted. You walk over. You say something about the lecture. She looks at you, not with cruelty. Worse, with nothing. Complete blankness. Like your words arrived, but you didn't. She turns back to her conversation without responding. Not a rejection, an erasure. You leave the party at 11:14 p.m. You know the exact time because you check your phone to avoid making eye contact with anyone on the way out. You walk back to your dorm in the cold. The campus is beautiful, the buildings are beautiful, the people in the buildings are beautiful, and you are a ghost walking through all of it. You sit at your desk. Your laptop is open. The cursor blinks. You are humiliated, and you are furious, and you are the kind of angry that doesn't throw things, the kind that builds things. A simple, brutal idea. A website where students can rate their classmates. Photos pulled from the university directory. Side-by-side comparisons. Click the one who's more attractive. An algorithm that ranks every student on campus on a single metric, how much other people want to look at them. You build it in one night. You launch it at 3 a.m. and go to sleep. By noon the next day, 450 students have used it. By dinner, the campus newspaper has written about it. By the following morning, the dean's office wants to see you. The site is live for 72 hours before the university shuts it down. In that window, 4,000 people visit. The servers crash twice. 3 women file complaints. The student council calls it misogynistic. The dean calls it juvenile. You apologize. The apology is tactical, not emotional, because while the dean is lecturing you, your mind is somewhere else entirely. 4,000 visitors in 72 hours. The site was ugly and cruel, and people couldn't stop using it. Not because it was good, because it showed them where they stood in the eyes of everyone else. You walk out of the dean's office, and you don't feel ashamed. You feel like you just ran a test, and the results are extraordinary.
The next version is clean. No ranking system, no cruelty. A profile page, a friend list, a wall where people post updates, a messaging system. Simple, fast, elegant. You launch it to a closed network, your university only. You need a university email to sign up. Exclusivity is the first hook. People want what they can't have. Within 2 weeks, 6,000 students are on the platform. Within a month, every social group on campus is using it, not because it's better than existing tools, because you understood something the other tools didn't. People don't want to communicate. They want to be seen. They want a number next to their name, friends, likes, comments, that tells them where they stand. You gave them a mirror, and nobody can stop looking. You expand to other universities, then the world. Each expansion follows the same pattern: exclusivity first, then access, then dependency. By the time the platform opens to the general public, it isn't a website anymore, it's a utility. People check it before they check the weather. They photograph their children for the platform before they photograph them for themselves. Money follows, then the kind of money that doesn't have a name because it's so large it operates as its own gravity. You drop out of school. The company grows the way your code runs, fast, modular, recursive. Each new feature is a test. You watch what people click. You watch how long they linger on a photo. You watch what makes them scroll and what makes them stop and what makes them come back at 2 a.m. when they should be sleeping. You don't guess, you measure. Every interaction is data. Every hesitation is a signal. The platform reaches 1 billion users, then 2, then 3. You're on the cover of magazines. You wear the same gray t-shirt every day because you've optimized decision fatigue out of your morning. The press loves this detail. It makes you seem humble. You aren't humble. You just don't care about clothes. You care about systems, and you've built the largest one on Earth. You meet a woman at a tech summit. She's sharp, direct, beautiful in the way that used to paralyze you. She looks at you and actually sees you, not because you're interesting, because you're powerful. And power, you've discovered, is the social equivalent of being 6'2" with a good jawline. It doesn't make them love you, it makes them face you. She becomes your wife. You have the wedding on a private estate. 300 guests. Not one of them knew you before the platform. You look at the crowd and you realize every relationship in your life postdates your success. The only version of you anyone at this wedding has ever met is the one that runs the company. The boy from the cafeteria wasn't invited. There's a moment, and you remember it precisely. You're in a conference room. A screen on the wall shows a real-time map of active users. The dots cover every continent. You zoom into the campus where the girl in the green dress looked through you. The campus is lit up like a circuit board. Every student is on your platform. Every final club, every social hierarchy that made you invisible is now visible to you, measured, quantified, and running on your infrastructure. You feel something, not joy, something older and colder. The feeling of standing in a room where no one can see you, except now the room is the world, and you can see everyone in it. Your research team runs an experiment. They adjust the news feed for 700,000 users without telling them. Half see more positive content, half see more negative. The result is clinical. Emotional states transfer through the platform without users' knowledge or consent. The press calls it manipulation. The public is briefly outraged. Usage doesn't drop. It never drops. People will be angry about what you do to them, and then they will open the app and keep using it. The outrage is performed inside the system. The system absorbs the outrage and turns it into engagement. Anger is content. Content is time. Time is data. Data is money. The loop feeds itself. Then a foreign intelligence operation uses your advertising tools to target voters with disinformation. They don't hack anything. They use the platform exactly as it was designed. They identify people who are angry, anxious, or persuadable and show them content designed to amplify those states. Your algorithm distributes it because the algorithm doesn't measure truth, it measures engagement. And lies engage more than facts because lies are built to trigger emotion and facts are not. You sit in front of a congressional committee, senators who don't understand how the internet works, asking questions you could answer in your sleep. One senator asks if you believe your platform influenced the election. You say you take the concern seriously. That's not an answer. Everyone knows it. But the format of the hearing doesn't allow for truth. It allows for performance. And performance is something you finally understand because you've spent a decade watching 3 billion people perform for each other on a system you built. Then a researcher leaves the company and goes public. Internal studies showing the platform increases anxiety, depression, and body image disorders in teenage girls. The data is your own. Your teams collected it, analyzed it, and recommended changes. The changes were rejected because they would reduce engagement, and engagement drives revenue, and revenue drives everything. You're in a meeting when this leaks. Your face is on every channel. 20 people in the room. Not one is asking whether the research is correct. They're asking how to manage the story. You realize you don't know when the company stopped being something you built and became something that runs you.
You built a room in your headquarters. 40 monitors. Real-time data from 194 countries. Active users, posting frequency, emotional sentiment, misinformation velocity. You come here late at night when the building is empty. You stand in the blue glow and you watch the numbers. 3 billion. Not accounts, people. Humans whose morning routine includes your platform, whose arguments happen on it, whose memories are stored on it, whose children's first photographs live on your servers. You know what makes them angry. You know what makes them jealous. You know what makes them stay up too late and compare themselves to someone they haven't spoken to in 12 years. You think about the cafeteria, the table that went quiet, the girl in the green dress. You built this because of them, not for them, because of them. The rejection was the raw material. The resentment was the energy source. The code was the delivery mechanism. The friend count was your answer to being uncounted. The news feed was your answer to being unseen. The algorithm that decides what 3 billion people look at when they open their eyes was built by a kid who couldn't get looked at across a room. And you never stopped to ask whether the wound should have been treated instead of weaponized. The platform doesn't connect people. It sorts them. It ranks them. It gives them a number, followers, likes, shares, and that number becomes their value. It does to 3 billion people exactly what the rating site did to 4,000 students in 72 hours. It shows them their place, and they can't stop looking. There's a teenager in Southeast Asia who stopped eating because the platform showed her what perfect looks like. There's a man in the Midwest radicalized because your algorithm fed him the same conspiracy 400 times. There's a mother in London who found her daughter's suicide note and the browser was still open to your platform. There's an activist in a country you've never visited who is in prison because your data told his government where he was. You didn't arrest him. You just built the map that led to his door. You didn't pull any triggers. You didn't type any lies. You built a machine, and the machine did what machines do. It optimized for the metric you gave it. You gave it engagement. It delivered engagement. It just turns out that the most engaging content on Earth is the content that makes people afraid, angry, jealous, and inadequate. Your machine didn't create those emotions. It found them, amplified them, and served them back at scale so efficiently that 3 billion people can't stop feeding it. You are not a CEO. You are a god, a small, accidental, reluctant god who controls what 3 billion people see, believe, fear, want, and hate. And you didn't earn this power through wisdom. You earned it because you were a lonely kid who was good at code and bad at people, and the market rewarded one of those things and ignored the other. You are the most connected person in human history. You have 3 billion users' data. You could contact any one of them with a keystroke. You have no friends. Not the way you had no friends in the cafeteria. That was exclusion. This is architecture. You've built your life the way you built the platform, optimized for control, stripped of vulnerability. Your wife is beautiful and intelligent, and you chose her the way you chose your engineers, for capability and alignment with the mission. You don't discuss the room with the 40 screens. You don't discuss the girl in the green dress. You don't discuss the feeling you had in the cafeteria at 11, because admitting it would mean admitting the entire architecture was built on a wound. Your 6-year-old draws a picture of the family. You're in it. You're at the edge of the frame, facing away, looking at a rectangle that might be a phone or a screen. The child drew what she sees. You attend therapy because your chief of staff suggested it for optics. The therapist asks about your childhood. You describe it like you're describing someone else's code, clean, logical, without errors. She asks if you're lonely. You say you have 3 billion users. She says that isn't what she asked. You change the subject. There's a term in psychology for what you've built: narcissistic supply. The platform gives you what the cafeteria took away: proof that you matter. Every user is a data point that says you exist. Every login is a vote that says the system you built is necessary. 3 billion daily validations. But validation at scale isn't the same as being known. You can be seen by everyone and known by no one. You can control what 3 billion people feel and have no access to your own feelings. The supply is infinite, and it satisfies nothing because the hunger was never for attention, it was for acceptance. And acceptance requires vulnerability. And vulnerability is the one thing you optimized out of your life before you were old enough to know what it cost. You stand in the blue glow of the 40 screens late on a Thursday. The building is empty. The dots pulse. 3 billion people looking at what you built and believing it connects them. And you're standing in a room alone, watching them, the way you watched the cafeteria from a table no one sat at. You built the cafeteria. You built the tables. You built the sorting algorithm that decides who sits where. And you're still eating alone.
Here's the thing nobody tells you about revenge. The best revenge doesn't look like revenge. It looks like innovation. It looks like a platform that connects people. It looks like a keynote speech and a gray t-shirt and a mission statement about bringing the world closer together. But underneath the architecture, there is an 11-year-old boy sitting at a table that went quiet. And every feature, every algorithm, every design choice that keeps 3 billion people staring at their screens is that boy's answer to a question nobody helped him ask the right way. The question wasn't, how do I make them see me? The question was, why does it hurt so much to be unseen? One question builds empires. The other builds people. He chose the wrong one. And by the time he realized it, the empire was too large to dismantle, and the boy was too far gone to find. You don't build a prison for 3 billion people because you're evil. You build it because you're wounded. And the wound is so old and so deep that the only thing large enough to cover it is a system so vast that its edges touch every country on Earth. And even that isn't enough, because the thing you're trying to fill isn't a gap in the market, it's a gap in you. Somewhere right now, a kid is sitting alone in a cafeteria. He's smart, he's quiet, he's invisible, and he's already writing code. Not because he loves it, because the screen doesn't go quiet when he sits down. Give him 10 years and a venture capitalist and a wound he never treats, and he'll build the next version of the thing you built. The architecture will be different. The metrics will be new. The wound will be the same. It's always the same. If this made you think, drop a comment, subscribe for more. See you in the next one.